Hey guys, it's Kevin. Some of you may know me as Big Noob if you're into fighting games and have been watching my videos and clips on Street Fighter 6. I have recently signed up for Winter Brawl 3D, which is a tournament in New Jersey. If you guys happen to run into me, be sure to say hi. Don't worry, I'm a friendly person, so don't worry about that. Um, I thought I'd make this video in preparation for the tournament. I want to gauge how well I play my character against other characters in Street Fighter 6. If most of you don't know or haven't watched my videos as of late, my main character in Street Fighter 6 is Ryu. Now, Ryu is has been probably the most mid-tier character for a long time throughout the entire history of Street Fighter games. In this game, I'm not sure how he falls under a tier list. I'm not an expert on that. But what I can tell you is that I struggle with certain characters while also not struggling as much with other characters. So I thought I put it together a little tier list based on how easy it is for me to play against certain characters and how hard it is for me to play against other characters using Ryu. That being said, we go to this screen here. So, this is the tier list. Here we have Ryu, and on the bottom we have the rest of the cast members in Street Fighter 6. Now, I've divided the categories up in an interesting way. I decided to give it my own, I guess, name, my own names. We start with almost free, meaning whenever I play against this character as Ryu, I'm basically doing, I'm not thinking at all, right? Not thinking at all. Comfortable is, I feel it's self-explanatory. I feel very comfortable playing against these certain characters. However, there may be times where I get outplayed sometimes, but other than that, I mostly feel comfortable playing against these characters. Okay is in the middle. Some days I do good against these characters, some days I don't. It's a 50-50. Depends on what kind of a day I'm having, right? Struggle is basically, okay, I'm struggling, but it doesn't feel impossible to win against this character. And finally, help. Oh my goodness, I struggle so bad against these characters, and it's either I haven't found the counters for them yet, how to download their data, or the matchup is just bad. Either way, this tier list is based on my own opinion, and it's based on how I play the game and my own struggles. Just because I put a certain character in a category doesn't mean that Ryu necessarily struggles or excels against this character. So keep that in mind. Remember, this tier list is only my personal opinion, and trust me, my opinions are not objective when it comes to tier lists. So let's get started. To begin, we have Luke. For Luke, I struggle. Luke is a very good character in this game. Oh my god, he's very viable. I've seen Mina RD use him, Dual Kevin use Luke all the time. Playing against Luke, sometimes I get lucky and the player I'm playing against doesn't just goes autopilot and does unsafe moves that I know how to punish, which is fine. But most of the time, most Luke players are kind of a nuisance to deal with. From the crouching forward, from that low forward, that, oh my god, that somehow reaches and punishes, and they could just convert that into a full ass combo. That is just insane. All right. Also, the the combo routes that Luke has is absolutely brutal, man. You get hit by one of these combos, whether it's full screen or in the corner, oh man, you're in for some trouble. And his Oki game is pretty solid as well. In fact, most people place him like top 5 in the tier list when they create a tier list for how viable the characters in Street Fighter 6 are. But yeah, I struggle with Luke. Next, Chun-Li. I put Chun-Li in okay. I'm pretty okay playing against this character as Ryu. Now, Chun-Li is, to me, she feels like a mixed bag when you play against these players. You have someone who knows Chun-Li like by heart, has studied Chun-Li extensively in Street Fighter 6 and will just mix you up all day long. I know I'm a victim of that. What is it? What's that high jump that she does? It's like that high jump where she jumps, then hits you with the kick. Then after she hits you with the kick, bounces up, and she's either gonna do another kick for an overhead mix-up, or just just land on the ground and go for a low or a grab or something else. Either way, I have to guess. But for the most part, Chun-Li players always go for the overhead mix-up, so that's something to keep in mind. Oh, by the way, I am a master ranked Ryu, just to put that out there. So just to put in perspective. Okay. Yeah, I put Chun-Li in okay. Some days I struggle a lot against her, but other days I happen to play very comfortably against her. Next is Jamie. Jamie is kind of weird. I put Jamie in okay as well. I actually have a friend. I think I've mentioned him before at some point. But I have a friend who used to be the president of the esports club at my college, and he plays as Jamie. He mains Jamie in this game, and his Jamie is insane, man. He makes him work. He makes him work. But overall, when I play online and ranked against Jamie players, they tend to do this. They tend to have this really bad habit of, after they get their first drink, immediately they're looking for the dive kick after jumping in the air. They're immediately looking for that dive kick. To you guys, if any of you guys play Jamie and you have this habit, remember, try to work on that habit, because you could easily get anti-aired. Just be careful. Yeah, so some days I have a really good time playing against Jamie sometimes, but other days I have a bad time playing against Jamie. So it's it's a mixed bag, just like Chun-Li. Jamie has a really good arsenal. Obviously, you could take advantage of the fact that the players have to drink a lot. So, and the startup frames. That move lasts a long time when Jamie takes a drink. That move lasts a long time. You could throw a fireball and it will reach. Trust me, it will reach and it will interrupt the drink. Like I said, some days I struggle against Jamie players. Some days I do not. But overall, Jamie gives my Ryu, literally makes me as a Ryu player think a little more than I need to. So that's why I put him in okay. Next is Guile. Lord help me. Oh my goodness. Guile, I believe that Guile could be Ryu's worst matchup. One of Ryu's worst matchups in this game. Holy moly, man. Guile, his zoning game, like his projectile game, is it's levels above Ryu's fireball. I have to admit, okay. So it's I really pull my hair out when I play against Guile players, especially if the Guile player is a modern player, because holy crap, you don't have to charge your inputs, okay? You don't have to charge your inputs for flash kick, okay? You don't. And you automatically turn around if I try to cross up. That's insane, man. Modern players are eating good in this game. Let me tell you right now. Don't hate against modern players. I mean, the more people who play this game, the better. But Guile players, oh man, as a Ryu player, it's tough. It's so tough. Almost impossible. But I will say there are rare cases where Guile players tend to let me put my mic down. They tend to forget that his sonic boom is insane, and he could just spend all day at a distance like just spamming sonic boom, and they would try to play like close quarter combat with Ryu, which they probably shouldn't. um but yeah, Guile, I probably struggle with Guile the most, let me tell you right now. Next, Kimberly. I'd say I struggle with Kimberly. Uh, Actually, I struggle. Hang on, come on. I struggle with Kimberly, but not more than Luke. So, playing against Kimberly is kind of weird to me. It's a lot of mix-ups that you have to watch out for. You know, there's that slide that goes past projectiles. There's also her smoke that makes her teleport. EX, her EX smoke, teleporting smoke thing, makes her teleport from the air and has it come down. She could either do an air attack for the overhead, or just let herself land and grab, right? Do something like that. Any mix up. But the mix ups are insane. Her spray can bomb is pretty insane as well. Now, it's not impossible. Let me tell you right now, it's not impossible. I know I played against a lot of Kimberly players, and there are quite a few Kimberly players who get too carried away when they're on the offense, and they just throw out a move that's clearly unsafe, and I punish counter. Um, but there are a few Kimberly players who actually, um, they're really good at mixing me up. I know Kimberly players who they try to jump towards me, and immediately I think, "Oh my God, DP anti-air." But as I do the DP, she does her attack that she does her elbow drop that brings her straight down. So now she's not coming towards me anymore, and I clearly whiff the DP, and she just punishes me right there. It's actually, wow, insane. But yeah, I struggle against Kimberly players, but it's not that bad. It's not as bad as Guile, trust me. Judy, or Jury, or Yuri, whichever you prefer. I'm gonna call her Judy because that's how the announcer pronounces her name. Judy, I put her in. I put her like right here. Ooh, actually no, right here. Um, Judy players are they're pretty aggressive. They like to do their dive kicks a lot though, so that's one thing that becomes a bad habit for them. So I can easily DP as an anti-air. One thing they always do that tends to work 80% of the time is they just drive rush. Uh, they skip the neutral and they just drive rush. Judy has a really good Judy has a really good drive rush. What can I say? Um, they're also really good at throwing. I'll say that too. They're really good at throwing because of that drive rush. So it's like, oh shit, that caught me off guard, and now I wasn't ready for the throw. Which, to me, I think Jake just needs to work on my delay text a little more, just in case. But yeah, Judy is okay. Sometimes I struggle with her, sometimes I don't. I'll say most of the time I don't struggle with her, but there are a handful of moments where a jury player just bodies me. So I'll give her oh, she stays in okay. Dawson. Now, Dawson, oh, my bad. My bad, guys. Now, Dawson, I'd say Dawson. The common misconception is that his long reach just makes him so like cheap. I don't think so. I hardly ever struggle against Dawson players. Dawson players are, I don't know, they even as a long ranged character, playing as a long range character, these players somehow overextend, right? They think it's gonna reach, but it doesn't. It does not reach. I'm like, I'm sorry, you have a long reach, but not full screen long reach, right? So what happens is they try to do the long arm thing, and it clearly, I know it's not gonna reach. So I time it when they do it, and it's a punish, right? Now, you can't punish with a normal because once you hit their arm, they automatically retract back as they get hit, and then you can't reach anymore. So what I do is I try to DP as a punish, or try to do a donkey kick as a punish, right? As a whiff punish. So just keep that in mind, right? Also, they like to teleport a lot. At master rank, they teleport a little too much. Then they should stop doing that, because it's as easy as just. Especially behind you. They always like to teleport behind you. You get a Dawson in the corner. If you get a Dawson in the corner and he's low on health, back up. Just back up. Watch him try to teleport behind you. Once he does that, DP, right? So yeah. Oh, they also like to wake up level 2, which is it's a go-to. It's the go-to super, right? But there are actually select few Dawson players who actually get the best of me, and they're just really good at the mix-ups, and their combo game is solid. So yeah, bravo, Dawson players. But for the most part, I find him almost free to deal with. To me, it's like, oh wow, free points. Not to jinx myself, but like, oh, free points, free MR. Next we have E Honda. All right, E Honda. I put E Honda. I used to struggle with Honda players. I used to struggle a lot. But now I am comfortable with the matchup with Ryu when I play as Ryu. So one thing that they like to do is they like to do the headbutt thing and the butt slam thing. Of course they do, right? It's E Honda. They have to. How else are they gonna get in, right? What I do for the most part is I'll I'm not comfortable with DPing the headbutt, but I will say that I am absolutely comfortable with parrying it. Even if it's not a perfect parry, I'm comfortable with parrying it, and then after after their headbutt gets parried, some of them kind of panic. I remember running into this E Honda player online on ranked, and I I kept blocking the headbutt, which you can do, but it takes away a lot of your drive meter. Uh, and eventually, I just started parrying it all the time. So there was one time where I didn't perfect parry it. I just normal parried it, and it looked like he just panicked because he just DI'd right afterwards, and I'm like, oh, react DI, right? I'm like, whoa, what was that? uh, but I say comfortable and not almost free because there are some E Honda players that are pretty good. Let me tell you right now, I go to a local tournament called the Vortex. Guys, search it up on start.gg. You know, the Vortex. It's a tournament based in PA. There's this one Honda player that I play against, and he is insane. He is insane with that Honda character. Oh my goodness. We were I remember the one time I got third place in that game. How I got sent to losers by him. We were at winners finals and I was up 2-0. I was up 2 games. You know, it was 2-0 and he made the comeback, and sent me to losers. That that was insane. I wasn't even mad. I was like, he did it, man. Like, he did it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I find E Honda. Uh, I'm very comfortable playing against E Honda players. Next we have Ken. Give me 1 second, actually. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Kind of wanted to skip this song. It kind of goes on forever. Skip it. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. All right. We got some Ken players here now. Ken. So, Ken. This is just online. I'm going to solely speak online because if you're a good Ken player, oh my god, like, impossible. Help me. But online Ken players, I just struggle. Not impossible to deal with. Most of you, maybe not all of you who are watching this video, may or may not have heard of the term flowchart Ken. Flowchart Ken is basically like, it's an expression that basically describes most Ken players in the Street Fighter franchise. How they're basically saying they're always predictable, right? They always do the same thing. They always go for the same thing, right? One example is a Ken player can be flowcharty if they always try to end in a Shoryuken or something like that. I don't know, right? Even if the normal doesn't hit, there's like, oh, Shoryuken, right? Anyway, moving on from that. Playing against Ken players online is quite a struggle, actually. Ken is a very viable character in this game, and he has a lot of tools. He's got a fireball. His EX fireball can will allow you to follow up with a drive rush heavy punch, right? His drive rush itself is pretty good. He comes in pretty quickly. Um, his uh his Dragon Lash is pretty good. His heavy Dragon Lash is, I think, 0 on block. 0 frames on block. It's either 0 frames on block or +1 on block. Either one of those. But either way, you can't press a button. Okay, don't press a button if you block a heavy Dragon Lash. His Jinrai, his kicks, what is it, quarter circle forward kicks, are very good too, especially in the corner. Yeah, he playing as Ken feels like free, you know? Not free, I mean, like, you have a lot of freedom. You can, when it comes to combo routes, you can kind of you could work with Ken a little bit, you know? That being said, as a Ryu player, playing against Ken players are pretty difficult to deal with. I will say though, I have been getting used to the matchup, so I can say that I am slowly getting better with the matchup. So who knows? Maybe I'll revisit this tier list and probably put Ken a little higher. But we'll let time. I'll let time decide that. You know. Next is Blanca. Blanca. Oh boy. Honestly, Blanca's okay for me. Blanca is definitely okay for me. Some days I get absolutely bodied. Other days I actually happen to read his moves quite a bit. A lot of Blanca players on ranked, especially on Master, they tend to mash a lot. I go going back to my local tournament. There's actually a player who plays as Blanca and Rashid. Uh, Blanca, his Blanca is really good, but his Blanca has one fatal flaw, and it's that he always tries to just go for it, right? Um, he's very random, and that's a good thing sometimes. But other times, his randomness, ironically, becomes predictable. Because if you get a knockdown, if I score a knockdown, 70% of the time, he wake up DPs, right? If it's not wake up DP, then he's probably gonna jab or go for a grab, right? Um, but online, on ranked matches, Blanca players, it's 50-50 with them when it comes to how bad I struggle. DJ. Borderline, he is almost in help. He is almost in the help category. But the reason he is not is because there are a lot of DJ mashers. They always use his weave and then bob in, and his weave kick, all that stuff, jumps, heavy air slashes when they're full screen. Their playstyle becomes predictable. That is the only reason why DJ is not in help. Okay. But if I go and face off against a really good DJ player who doesn't mash and is really good. In fact, what's his name? Nightmare Effect. Guys, go check out Nightmare Effect. Check out his DJ. All right, check out Nightmare Effect on YouTube. You could type in Nightmare Effect DJ or Nightmare Effect Street Fighter 6. His DJ is fucking insane, guys. Insane. All right. If I faced off a DJ player who played like him, bodied, I would not know what to do. All right. I would have to literally lock in. It would probably take me 15 matches to not 15. Oh my god. It would probably take me like I'll say 5 to 10 matches to even have an idea of how to counter a DJ with a playstyle like Nightmare Effect. It's insane. Insane, man. Wow. Okay. Next is Manon. Manon. Sorry. That was bad. I'm deciding between almost free or comfortable. I'll say comfortable. Top of comfortable, right? Because my own players, they want to go for the grab. They want to go for that command grab. They always do. And most of the Manon players I play online, they do a lot of unsafe moves like that. What's that sliding kick that sweeps? It's like a double sliding kick on the floor. That's what she does. That's what most Manon players do. At least the ones I face online in my area. And it's like easily punishable. There are times where I could get a Manon player in the corner, and unless they anti-air on wake up, I can almost immediately jump. So that I could bait a throw and then just punish counter one more time. But yeah, but there are a selected few Manon players who are insane to play against. I could tell you that. But for the most part, just based on my experience, I feel very comfortable playing against most Manon players online. Marisa. Comfortable as well. But not as comfortable as playing against Manon players. Marisa players... Well, first of all, Marisa hits like a truck, okay? In addition to that, Marisa players, they have a habit of skipping neutral again, like of attempting to skip neutral, and they do that by trying to do, they try to do DP the DP that goes through fireball. They also try to do that kick, that teep, that is very unsafe, especially if you DI, if you see it coming and you DI. But one thing I will say is that, which makes Marisa players not go to almost free, is that they're really good at charging their attacks. Like when they charge and power up their normals, they're really good at that. Because there are times where I just get bamboozled and I'm like, oh crap, that's super armor. I forgot. The command grab mix-ups are really good as well. The command grab, it's really good. But for the most part, Marisa is a little slower compared to Ryu, and I just know how to react against Marisa players on ranked matches. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Next we have JP. JP is considered to be one of the best characters in this game. But from my experience as a Ryu player, playing online with these online JP players, it's only okay. I put him in okay. The reason I do that is because JP players, online JP players get a little too carried away with their projectiles. When they almost immediately after they do their spike and I block their spike from full screen, I immediately do a reversal heavy Tatsu. In case you don't know, a heavy Tatsu, when the last part of it hits an opponent, the opponent will be high enough for Ryu to follow up with a Shoryuken, right? And most JP players like to throw out another projectile after spike. So, what do? Heavy Tatsu goes through projectiles. So after I block the spike, Heavy Tatsu, go through the next projectile that JP throws out, punish counter, last hit of Heavy Tatsu lands, JP's in the air, I have enough time for a heavy DP. If you go to one of my clips, I actually land this on a JP player. That's most of the matchup knowledge that I have against JP players, just knowing how to counter that. That's one of the ways to counter, but obviously you do that like twice already, they'll catch up a little bit and they'll wait for you to heavy Tatsu, and that's a free punish for them. So I tend to be very cautious when I do that, but sometimes when I feel that I will land that heavy Tatsu, I just go for it. Now, that's not to say that I don't struggle against JP players. I put them in okay because JP players, they put on the pressure. And there are a lot of JP players online who are very smart. And they probably know how most characters try to counter JP. And they wait for it so that they could punish, right? But, you know, some days I struggle against JP players, some days I don't. Yeah. Next is Cammy. Cammy, I struggle against Cammy. Cammy is just fast. What else can I say? Cammy is just fast. I try my best to look for the throw because a lot of Cammy players like to go for throw. But sometimes she's just way too fast for me to like process that and react accordingly. So it's, you know, I get what I get, you know, I get what I deserve. I will say though that a lot of Cammy players have the habit of trying to jump and then do a dive kick. Now, some Cammy players are aware of that habit, so what they try to do is that they initiate the jump and then do a light dive kick so that it doesn't get anywhere near me. And if I react with the DP, that's a free punish for them, right? But overall, I struggle against Cammy players, but I can figure out, depending on the player I play against, I can figure out how to deal with her. Lily. Almost free. Lily players, I give them so much credit for picking up Lily. Lily struggles a lot against Ryu. At least I say so. Trying to get in first. She does that little spin attack after getting the wind charge. But despite that, if she does that from a bad distance, I can DI punish. And I've done that multiple times against Lily players. That is her name, Lily? Yeah, it's Lily. Okay. I always mix up Kimberly and Lily for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, for the most part, I don't struggle against Lily at all. But there are rare occasions where some Lily players like are really good with mixing up the command grabs, and they just get the better of me when it comes to footsies, you know. Next is Zangief. Almost free, actually. Hang on a second. I'd say that one of the easiest matchups for me, one of the easiest character I could go up against, you know, Zangief. I mean, Zangief is really strong with the throws, and he does have combos thanks to the drive mechanic. Um, hey man, I there are some Zangief players who have gotten the better of me, and I'm like, wow, you know what? All the power to you. I'm not even mad at that. Um, but overall, I have little to no trouble facing against Zangief players, from my personal experience, obviously. Um, and this is coming from the perspective of a master ranked player. So master Zangief players kind of behave similarly to Diamond Zangief players, except Diamond Zangief players, any Zangief player, whether Diamond or lower, they're more prone to jump, right? And since they're more prone to jump, they always get anti-aired, and they're also less prone to tech a throw, which is kind of concerning. But master rank Zangief players, they don't have that problem that much. Like I said, based on my experience, based on the players that I've played against. Next is Rashid. Rashid, I gotta say, I don't struggle with Rashid as much as I think I should. I think it's because a lot of the Rashid players like to jump in a lot. The Rashid players I play against online, they like to jump in a lot, and whenever they do that, air dash mix up where you have to guess, they almost always go for the overhead. And I'm like, okay, you're gonna go for overhead, so it's like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Um, yeah. So Rashid players, I don't struggle against them online. And finally, Aki. Aki's okay. Aki's okay for me. Now there are more Aki players that I struggle with, that I struggle against, than the ones that I don't struggle against. So Aki players are really good. They're really good. Um, they're good at anti-airing whenever I jump in. You know, they get the anti-air and they do that spear thing right above her head, and it poisons you right away. Their combo game is insane. You know, they got the combos down packed, man. Down packed. Additionally, Aki players they utilize the fireball very well. That fireball travels a lot slower than I anticipate. So I try. Let's say I'm burnt out. Instead of blocking it, I try to jump. I try to jump, but I don't want to like jump forward. I want to jump up, straight up. And I try to time it, but it's really hard to time that speed, you know. But yeah, for Aki players, I'm okay with them. Some days I don't struggle with them, but other days they tend to get the better of me. All right, and that concludes this tier list. So, as a Ryu player, this is how well I play against these characters and how badly I struggle with these characters. If you want to recap, Almost Free, Zangief, Dawson, Lily. I am comfortable against Manon, Marisa, E Honda, and Rashid. I am okay playing against Blanca, Aki, Chun-Li, Jamie, Judy, and JP. I struggle playing against Ken, Kimberly, Cammy, Luke, DJ. And finally, God help me. If I run into a Guile player, it's over. It is over, all right? For the most part, it's over. All right, well, that concludes the tier list, and that also concludes this video. If you like what you saw, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. What do you think of that tier list? Do you struggle with the same characters I struggle with as a Ryu player? Do you even play Ryu? Who do you play? But if you do play Ryu, how similar is my tier list to yours? Yeah. Anyways, like I said, if you like this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. This is Kevin, Big Noob. I'm signing out. See you guys later.